Welcome back, everyone, to Achievement Hunting 101. This is level 324, 324, a level in which we aim to finally make all your achievement fantasies come true. You could say we are a Final Fantasy podcast. I am ElroyOMJ, and he is X the Hero. How are you, man?
I am splendid, actually. Which, well, let's just dive right into why am I splendid. So, holidays, man. Anyone who's in a relationship, especially if you're married and you moved away from your family, perhaps knows the struggle that comes with visiting both families during the holiday seasons. And I believe I've talked about it in the past. My mom, I love you, Mom, but she is so difficult to work with around the holidays. If I don't somehow wake up in her house on Thanksgiving and Christmas morning, I'm the worst son ever, and I'm cut out of the will, and she never wants to see me again, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
So just the past few years, I'm not even exaggerating. So the past few years, we have just bent over backwards to accommodate her before trying to make plans with my dad's side of the family and then Kelsey's whole family. Just if my mom doesn't come first, she might as well not exist, right? So it's always a pain in the butt because it's like a 90-minute drive to get to her, and then a 90-minute drive back to meet it. Like there's 3 hours of the day spent driving and not celebrating. So this year I work at the game store that I work at now on Black Friday. I'm like, I don't really want to get home at like midnight when I'm going to be working at 6 a.m. Like that's terrible. What if, long shot, we invite my mom down to our place and you'd be like, hey, you won't have to cook. You can meet Miku, your grandkitty. And, Kelsey and I agreed, like, nah, she'll never go for it. But oh my gosh, she went for it. Didn't even fight. She's like, okay, that sounds great. So I am in such a good mood
Any
because of
theories
that.
on that?
Nope. And we haven't discussed it because we don't want to jinx it.
Right.
It's really what it boils down to. So Thanksgiving is taken care of. All families accounted for. It's going to be great. And I have never been in such a good mood 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. It's usually stressful and miserable. So yeah.
I can relate to that. I mean, I'm sure most people can, especially if they're married, because then you got the two families, especially like what you said, if you don't live around, which I don't. You have also, I guess I deal more with it around Christmas time, because then you have to, I feel like I have so many Christmases because I have the one with my spouse, with my wonderful wife, Kelly. We have our own personal Christmas, but we also have to have a Christmas with my brother and my mom. They come as a package deal. But see, my parents are divorced, so I have to have one with my dad as well. So there's a third Christmas. And then I have Kelly's folks, which is a fourth Christmas. And then anything else going on with friends or anything like that is, I mean, it just feels like it's just Christmas overload. But Thanksgiving's kind of the calm before the storm. We angled our Thanksgiving correctly. A few years ago, we just took ownership of it, because before it was like, oh, do we go to this house, that house? And we actually said, we're having Thanksgiving at our house. And then we just went all out and made it happen. It's a lot of work on the front end with the cooking and everything. But the beautiful thing is, like, everyone just leaves and you don't have to drive back to your house, don't have to travel.
Yep, man.
It's the life, man.
Yeah, you're in the same boat then with the divorced parents, and you got that extra one thrown in.
Yep.
No, I'm this all just transpired today, day of recording, today. Like it's just completely unexpected. Like it's so cool. So we'll worry about Christmas. We'll burn that bridge when we get there, but Thanksgiving is dealt with.
Man, if I was to offer some advice, I'd say, like, go all out and make it where you have stake on that holiday. And
so they want to come back every year.
And then you don't
man.
No, it's so much better than traveling and have to worry about everything. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just me, but I enjoy it. We're the Thanksgiving house for my family. I like that.
Well, I will update everyone how it goes in a few weeks.
I also want to update on the Black Friday. I so hope that you have a good story from that.
Oh, geez.
Not necessarily bad. I'm not wishing ill will on you. I'm sure that there's just going to be something funny or something. I mean, that's such a crazy day, especially at a used game store. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I wasn't going to dive into that other than just, mentioning what I did, that I'm working. But the owner, Dan, wants to go all out and like an old school Black Friday, like get people off computers in the stores. So yeah, we're just open. Stores open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., but he wants to get everyone there at like 6:30 in the morning just to like figure out a plan of attack. And he's doing everything in the store, buy two get one free.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't matter if you want games, accessories, like collectibles, or even like the consoles. Just everything in the store, buy two get one. So
That's cool.
we're expecting a crazy day for sure.
So if you buy 2, get 1 free, does that mean you get to steal 3 things out of the bin by the doors? It's just still 1 thing that you can steal?
I suppose if you steal two, you can steal a third one, right? I'll bring that up to him. Actually, he'll appreciate it.
Well, it sounds like things are going better for you then. What's new in my life is I swear something has changed at work. We have a 5-minute transition period at school where all the students change classes and everything. I don't know where this came from, but it's like fourth period, all of a sudden, headed between third and fourth, is a fight club has broke out in the basement in my neck of the woods, and it's just been a handful. Like it started in the bathroom. Man, oh man, there's throwing down in the bathroom. The thing that really makes me upset about that is that I was standing at my door where I was supposed to be. And then I had a student bring money to join my student organization. So I had to go write her a receipt. So I left my door for like 30 seconds.
And that was your fatal mistake right there.
Indeed. And in those 30
Yeah.
seconds, 20 dudes pile in the bathroom and just go on, just beating the crap out of each other. And there's just like, people are watching everywhere. Like it was just this horde of people there. It was just awful. And then they saw me coming, so they scattered like roaches, and that was bad enough. But the next day, I was still livid about it, that it happened. I mean, I could have prevented it had I been standing at my door. And so the next day, I had the bathrooms locked, and I wasn't going to let this crap happen
You
again. I was ready for him. And sure enough, this huge group of people come down there, like this huge, just massive, like it picks up steam. It's like an avalanche. They know someone's going to fight. They're going to go watch it,
right.
and
That's where you gotta be, man.
right, yeah, you gotta get the video so you can put it on your social media and get those likes or whatever. Or they're gonna try to do it in the bathroom. Oh my God, Mr. Kelly, as the bathroom locked, their brain hadn't comprehended that their special spot was gonna be locked. They're kind of like confused. At this point, I've noticed them, and I'm yelling at them to keep moving. And so they keep moving, and then I noticed that they stalled out in the stairwell. I'm like, oh hell no, we're not doing this. I sprinted over there, and I just like ramming through people. I get there, and there's 2 dudes. They're squared off with each other. It's like maybe a second early before it was going down. And so I just went right between them, and I just looked them both in the eye, and I just started yelling like a son of a gun. I looked like a crazy person. I just yelling at all of them, telling them to get the hell out of my stairwell and all this and that. I scattered them, and by that time, one of the officers is coming down, and I didn't really recognize any of them, but they figured it out. I think they eventually found another spot to fight, but it wasn't my neck of the woods, so they could just
But it's not your problem over
yeah,
there.
they can go kill each other somewhere else. But it was just ridiculous, man. And then today I was ready for them. I think they all got suspended because that huge mob of people didn't come through. But I think it's because they moved the band into the basement, which I don't mind. That's where they need to be. There's a lot more people down there, and so they're walking on this back hallway. It used to be a nice sanctuary down there where I was. I didn't have to deal with this anymore. I did my time.
Yeah, you've discussed your basement sanctuary.
I get enough of this at the bus stop. I don't need this here too. So I'm just dealing with that. I don't know what this fight club breaking out in my between third and fourth in the basement is, but it's not going to become a thing. I'm going to put it into this. So anyway, that's what I'm dealing with. A lot better than, holiday inconveniences, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's funny you mention, of course, it goes down when you walk in your room. I don't wanna tell Kelsey's story for her. Kelsey's my wife, for anyone who doesn't know. I feel like I just name drop her all the time. Should probably say that if we have any new listeners. I think most of you know that, though. Last year, and she still gets worked up about it when she thinks about it. Same thing. She was standing diligently in her doorway, as
Mm.
teachers do, and then a student from the last block called her in for like a question. So she left for 15 seconds,
Yep.
and then the fight breaks out, right in front of her door.
Yeah.
And then rather than reprimanding the teacher 2 doors down who stood there and watched the fight take
Oh
place and
gosh,
did nothing.
that bothers me.
Admin goes after Kelsey, who wasn't standing in her doorway, and she was livid,
I'm
just
sure. Yeah.
livid.
Now, see, like, I could talk about this for a long time, but it's so unclear. It's like the Wild West, like what the rules are as far as
Mhm.
when fights break out at a school. Like you don't know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. And so a lot of teachers, they just stand there and watch. And I think that's weak. I don't do that. I get in there and I throw bodies around and I end it. And that's just who I am. I'm a lot of times it's for safety reasons because like where I jammed my finger was where the dude was attacking a girl and he was going to do some damage. And then the other one where I got pepper sprayed was
Ooh,
when, yeah, I got my first pepper spray last spring, and it was because of it was
damn, man.
yeah, it was like 10 on one. Like they were just stomping this kid into nothing. I mean, I felt obligated to jump in and just start throwing bodies.
Mhm.
And I just and also I feel that you have to jump in also because it spreads. Because if two people are going at it, then all of a sudden the cousins and uncles, or not uncles, but the cousins show up, and the sisters and the
Well, maybe
brothers.
the uncles too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I've broken up parents too. Don't trust me. I've dealt with a little bit of
Jeez.
everything. I broke a clipboard on this one lady that was like charging a student, and I basically threw her into a car using my clipboard and broke my clipboard. But I mean, it's insane sometimes. But anyway, I could talk about that for a long time. I'm
Just
pretty
gonna
sure
say,
this is
maybe we need, like an after party or something to
just talking
discuss
about
school fights.
what the hell's
Jeez.
going on in the public schools, right?
Right, man? I got a couple, but I've never been pepper sprayed, I've never body
Yeah.
slammed girls, man.
Yeah, it's just
Jeez.
I don't know, it's crazy, but anyhow, this is the follow-up to 323. So I'm sure we have some updates from that wonderful episode that was very prime in nature, but not actually prime. But did you have any updates?
Do, as a matter of fact. I promised last week that I would investigate why the first 6 Final Fantasy games, don't worry, I'm not talking about number 4 this week, I haven't finished it yet, but why the first 6 Final Fantasy games were on Nintendo consoles, and then why it switched to PlayStation after that.
Hmm.
And my theory, if you guys remember, my theory was that Final Fantasy VII was 3 CDs of data and just wouldn't fit on a cartridge, and that is the right answer.
Oh,
Apparently, Sony very much wanted to. Yeah, no, I pat myself on the back.
nicely done.
Squaresoft very much wanted to stick with Nintendo. They had a good working relationship with Nintendo, and then Nintendo announced the N64 was sticking with cartridges. At which point, the creators of Final Fantasy just kind of said, we already had to cut back so much for the last couple games to fit them on a cartridge. We're done. We're done doing that. We want to express our full vision, so we have to sever ties with Nintendo. And it was like an unwilling breakup from what I read. Like they didn't want to, but they needed to make the game they wanted to make. And then PlayStation, again with CDs and multiple discs of data, let them do that. Let them get their vision, the game they wanted to make. So it was an unwilling breakup, and they found a new partner very quickly, basically.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man, that you were able to guess that spot on, basically. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because you brought it up, like, you kinda caught me off guard, like, why would it be? And that
Mm,
it seems like that's the obvious answer, just, CDs versus cartridges.
right.
Um, but I don't know, I didn't think that would actually be it, but yeah, no, that's it. No contracts, no hard feelings. Well, I'm sure Nintendo had some hard feelings. Yeah, no, that was it, just we wanna make our full game, and we can't do that on your little dinky cartridges, sorry.
All right. Well, I had a couple updates, mostly with the daylight savings time. We kind of hashed it out in our Discord. For those of you that are not in the Discord, we discuss things a little further. But according to AZ Mongoose, which I assume he's in Arizona, Arizona does not observe daylight savings time. It wasn't just a municipality; it was basically the whole state. But there's more to the story. There's one group that does, and that is the Navajo Nation. Everyone but the Navajos. And then Indianapolis, we have no further news there because Triple Triad won't give up the info. So hopefully he'll give it up
I
soon.
I like you tagged him, and he's like, "What?" Like, "What do you mean, what? Answer the question." And then he goes to us.
Gee, it was a kind of a letdown that. And then I have a murder board update for those of you who
Ooh,
were
yes.
curious.
Elroy has texted me stuff. I am super invested in this
Yes.
murder board now.
Okay. Yes. So I've already spoiled it for you, but Jada did in fact die. She is no more.
Sorry, Jada.
Yeah, sorry for Jada. But this week we've already gone on a wonderful trip out into the woods and to look for clues as to what happened. Unfortunately, the plane that we took, crashed, and so we had to do a survival training. It was on that one game, Bright Ideas and Riddles. It was one of the scenarios, and it looks like this week, dun dun dun. Again, I don't think any of them listen to the podcast, so I think we're safe. It's going to be either Jasmine, Diego, Jalen, or Nia. Not sure what's going to happen.
You better watch your backs.
I know, indeed.
If you listen to the podcast,
right? I should put a picture of the murder board into the Discord. I sent it to you, but I forgot to put it in the Discord. But I actually have a murder board that has all their faces.
He really does. Like, if you think this is like something he has on, no, there is a wall with pictures and names and. Sorry, I gotta steal your thunder a little bit. For the ones that have died, he photoshopped them to be dead. Like, it's not just their picture with an X through it.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm cracking up thinking about it. That has me dying, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're actually zombies now. It's unfortunate for all parties involved. Who do you got this week? Diego, Jalen, Nia, or Jasmine?
I have a grudge against people named Diego. So for nothing that this Diego has done to me, but on behalf of the other Diegos, I think he's not gonna make it.
I tend to agree with you. He's really sassy. Anyhow, I'll keep you updated.
All right, please do.
And then lastly, according to Bing AI, the ideal time frame to remaster a game is between 10 and 20 years, and notes that you should weigh the pros and cons before doing it.
I love that AI knows that. AI has not been around long enough to know what a remaster is.
Sure. But I like how they say that you should weigh the pros and cons.
Right.
No, you're just going to jump in and just, I'm going to do it. So there you go. That's our update section. So thank you for all the feedback.
Thank you for that. Yeah. I forget if I said it on the pod or in Discord, but when I talked about Final Fantasy 3 last week, I had just started 4. And I was like, I'm not going to have that finished in time. So I'm not talking about Final Fantasy IV. We'll get that.
Oh, I don't know, whatever.
Man. I will finish it. I know you're very upset.
It's terrible. Oh my goodness.
I was kind of hoping I could go for the 6 Pete, just get all 6 in a row, but no, it's just not going to happen. So this week I am talking about. I mean, it's in its own right a blast from the past. But Deadpool. Who I assume you are familiar with in some capacity.
It's funny you mentioned this because literally yesterday, my wonderful, beautiful wife, Kelly, told me that she wanted to go watch I guess there's a new movie or something in Deadpool. And I was like, I haven't even seen the first one. And
First 2.
I haven't even seen the first 2. I literally have not. I don't know really anything about him other than he's like some disfigured dude that doesn't he like break the third wall all the time or something like that?
Fourth wall, yeah.
Fourth wall, yeah. That's it. He talks to the audience. So basically, that's all I really know about him is superhero. I just don't watch superhero movies. I am aware who he is, and I could pick him out of a lineup, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Deadpool as the comic book hero. He's the merc with the mouth, very much known in the comic books for just cursing and violence and breaking the fourth wall. As you said, that's very much Deadpool's shtick. As a superhero, this isn't any kind of spoiler or anything. As a superhero, Deadpool he regenerates super quickly. There's different like versions of how he got that. Some, he has Wolverine's DNA put in him. That's just his own mutation. But he's pretty much invincible to the point that you can behead him and then his body will grow a new head, or his head will grow a new body, whichever one is more absurd.
So wait. So is it like a percentage? Like if he is,
I don't know how it works.
Right. So like if you cut him perfectly in half, I wonder.
That could be his only weakness, a perfect 50-50 splice, right? So yeah, that's Deadpool. He shoots guns, he has melee weapons, and generally just beats people up because he can't die, right? So they made a video game for Deadpool back in 2015, which was a year before the first Deadpool movie. So there was no real hype for Deadpool, if that makes sense. Like when the movie was coming out, everyone was suddenly a Deadpool fan, with Ryan Reynolds in 2016. But when the game came out before, I don't wanna say he was, like, unknown, but he definitely wasn't a very mainstream superhero, right? So I think this game kind of flew under the radar, like, looking at TA, now it doesn't even have 50,000 tracked gamers, just high 49,000. There is an Xbox 360 stack, and that one has 59,000 tracked gamers. So,
Mm.
not a huge audience, I guess.
Well, for a superhero game, for sure, yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
because, yeah, it's usually kill it.
Absolutely, yeah, so that could be well, the game has been long delisted. It was taken down off digital storefronts, like, I don't even know when, probably 2017 or 18, like, their license expired pretty quickly, so you could only get it on disc pretty shortly after release, all things considered, and then I'm playing it in 2024. I actually owned it
Mm,
digitally, for the past, 8 years and am finally playing it.
nice.
But if you don't own it digitally, the 360 disc goes for, like, 40 bucks, and the Xbox One disc goes for, like, 50, 60 bucks. And
Jeez.
then yeah, no, it's affordable if you wanna play the game, but it's pricey for what it is. And then over the summer when the Deadpool movie came out, the hype for the game came back, or I can't even say the hype came back, the hype began to exist, and then, like, it was selling for, like, 120 bucks on eBay, so it's
What?
leveled back down.
No
Yeah.
way. No way.
No, for real.
I'm about to look this up later. That's
Yeah, no,
crazy.
please do. Look at the, like, the price charting, the history, and it was going
Yeah.
for, like, 50 bucks, 50 bucks. Movie comes out, 100 bucks, and now it's back to 50 or so.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's I didn't even know this game existed, so that's, it's interesting. It's a hack and slash, third person shooter, so I'm a little
Yep.
intrigued by the hack and slash. I enjoy a good hack and slash.
Actually, I'll get into that in a little bit.
Mhm.
It's not a beat 'em up, there's no fisticuffs,
That's a fine line
but you
between the hack and slash and the beat 'em up, you know?
So, yeah, the plot of the game is, in typical Deadpool fashion, breaking the fourth wall, which, as Elroy said, if you don't know that expression, it just means talks to the audience. If you picture a stage would have three walls, the left, the right, and then the back, there obviously in the world would be a fourth wall, but you can't have a fourth wall because then the audience couldn't see the actors. So you just have this invisible fourth wall, but then when the actors talk through that, that's breaking the fourth wall, right? Talking to the audience.
Mhm.
So there you go, little theater lesson, I suppose. Anyway, the plot of this game is Deadpool wants a video game. He is aware that he exists, and he decides that he wants to be the star of his own video game. So he contacts his creators, who gets in touch with Activision and High Moon Studios to make him a video game. But he wants to like oversee it and direct it along the way. So they're making this game, and then he's like playing his own game and calling out what he doesn't like about it. It's super over the top. It's absurd, and it's good for a laugh, honestly. He like if you die, he'll make fun of you. Like, what, killing me in my own game? No, I wouldn't do that. You suck. He'll
Mhm.
make fun of himself when things happen. Several times he'll get on the phone. Like you'll open a door and he'll be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, no, I don't like this. And he'll get on the phone with High Moon Studios. Like, you want me to cross a river? Like, that's so cliche. Every freaking video game has the character jump across a river. Do something about this. And then like the level will change in front of you, so now it's like a blizzard. Be like, well, that's cliche too, but I guess it's better, you know. Um, so it's very tongue in cheek, and I don't know. The humor was very well done. It's very Deadpool. It's very stupid humor. So if you're not into just sort of over the top dumb comedy, you'll hate that. But if you know Deadpool, it does Deadpool's thing very well, right?
I see. I mean, I just kinda glancing. I don't know anything about this game, but I do like some of the achievement names. I'm sure you're gonna get into those at some
Oh,
point. Like
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Um, The other thing Deadpool is known for, certainly the movies did justice with this, is just over the top violence, and the game is no exception. You
mhm.
can you impale people and, their organs and entrails are there. Think like Gears of War when you chainsaw and then there's blood spatter on the screen. There's one part where Deadpool gets cut in half and then his intestines literally unwind and he gets like caught on them, so you have to pull yourself up by your own intestines as you're like dripping blood. Like they really, were not afraid to go over the top with the gore and the carnage and the violence and
I'm
stuff
sure that
like that.
looks beautiful on the 360 with all the, pixel resolution. Probably like
Oh, right.
probably looks like you're climbing a rope.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't know. That I am playing the Xbox One version. I don't know if I made that clear or not. But yeah, as far as the achievements go, I'm curious if you have one that stands out to you. It's a really good list, actually. I quite like it. There's story progression. You get some for there's like, one for beating each level, beating the bosses, main events, those are fine. Every level has some miscellaneous tasks that you have to do, such as, well, some of them are ridiculous, like complete this in 30 seconds,
Mhm.
or, do this without touching the ground, or do this without, or, like do this gauntlet in like a minute or something. So some of them literally cannot be done on the first playthrough. So that's the only downside, I think, to the
Mm.
achievement list is you will need, well, you won't need 2 full playthroughs, but it's sort of recommended. So you do the first one on easy, get what you can, get all your upgrades, and
Mm.
then play through the second playthrough on ultraviolent, do the ones that you can only get on second playthrough, and then that's that. If you do your first playthrough on ultraviolent, you're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna have a bad time. I'm not trying, of course. I don't do hard mode, but
Right.
everything suggests just do 2 playthroughs. Play it on easy, max yourself out, and then breeze through ultraviolet. So yeah, there's various tasks. There's the difficulties. There's a couple collectibles throughout, but for the most part, the list is, I don't know what the right word, like whimsy, I guess. Like
I have a couple of ones I wanna ask you about that probably
yeah.
illustrate the point. So there's an achievement called "Hey, yo, guys," for took no damage on the water slide. So, I'm curious, you being a young lad that you are, do you understand that reference?
I understand that it is a reference, if that makes sense, but I don't know what it is referring to.
Okay, well, as a child of the '80s, "Hey Yo Guys" was what Sloth would had in the movie Goonies. He was the disfigured, muscled up dude in the movie, and, at the end, he, like, saves everyone, and he, like, lifts this thing over his head and yells, "Hey Yo Guys," and there's water everywhere, so I assume that's why they did it there. I can't remember exactly the scene, but it had something to do with that. I mean, I saw it, like, probably 20 years ago, most recently. But anyway, so there's that one. So that's a nice pop culture reference to Goonies there, with the water and everything. And then one that's just obvious is R rated, and that's for beating Death Baby while wearing a pirate hat. I like and they're all kind of like that. It's just all are kind of tongue in cheek with,
That's what I was looking for when I said they're whimsy. Yeah, it's
yeah.
very just silly, tongue-in-cheek kind of achievement list. They're a lot of fun. The names are pretty good too. And like I said, there's just some silly achievements. What was the one I was looking at? Let's try one more time. Slapped Wolverine a bunch of times. You can talk to Wolverine or you can slap him, and he just gets more and more pissy every time you slap him. And there's a lot of things like that where there's like this repeatable action, and you'd think, they only programmed one thing in. Every time you do this, it's going to be the same little cutscene, same voice. But they'll go like 20, 30 times. Like it's not just slap Wolverine 3 times. It really was slap Wolverine 50 times. And there were 50 different lines of dialogue for every time you slap him.
It sounds like he got more lines than the Pork Bun Man.
Yes, yes, absolutely. There's some for I mean, it's a hack and slash game, but you can stealth, and they even joke, like, Deadpool looks at you like, "Why would you stealth in this game?" But you can still do it. So if you, like, stealth up behind the guys, you take, like, your hammers and you just, smash your head between 2 giant mallets. So it's very over the top. It's it's a lot of fun is the short version there, and then a lot of that fun is tied to the achievements. So the gameplay, I think, is the only thing I haven't really talked about. Obviously, it's a hack and slash. The best way to describe it is honestly like a Devil May Cry. You have different melee weapons to cycle through, and then you have different guns to cycle through, and you can do combos and keep combo up, and it rewards you for not getting hit, and you can dodge and counter, and very much like Devil May Cry, and more or less how you would expect a Deadpool game to play, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, it's a decent list, and I mean, it sounds like a game that I would actually enjoy, but not for $100 off eBay. But yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's, not easy to track down. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's easy enough to find, just not for the price that you'd probably be willing to pay, right? So, yeah, the sort of deal breaker there, like, $50 is fine, but the game, it's only 15 to 20 hours, and that's both playthroughs.
Mhm.
Like I think 6 hours in, and I'm about halfway through my first playthrough. So that tracks, second playthrough you just breeze through. 1,000 gamer score, obviously, and 2575 TA, so a decent ratio, and that's because some of those miscellaneous achievements are just pretty tough by all accounts. A lot of them require some pretty good platforming or combat skills, and then the 360 version is only 2061 TA. So I think that's probably people played that one just for the achievements and knew what they were doing. But
Right.
yeah, no, I honestly I like it. I give it a solid. I don't really have any major complaints. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm really having a very good time with it so far.
4.5 intestines out of 5.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I may have to check that one out. So that one has definitely been more interesting to me than the last couple that you've brought to the
Shush
table.
you.
Well, for me, I have Age of Mythologies. All this talk about remasters, and in fact, your Deadpool game, you notice it came out in 2015, and according to AEI on Bing,
Oh man, we might be due for a
I
remaster next
know,
year.
but you got to weigh the pros and cons first. So make sure you do that before you get to it. But all that talk about remasters, I have a game that's been remastered. It's Age of Mythology. So it came out in 2002 with the release on, I guess, computer PC. I guess I don't know. It was a little unclear, but it came out in 2002. And then they had a Titans expansion in 2003, and then they bundled both of those two games together. What do you know? 11 years later, so just after 10, and they released 2014 the Age of Mythologies Extended Edition. Now we have Age of Mythologies Retold, and this one is on Xbox Windows. And so we have 20 years after it came out. What do you know?
Oh yeah, hang on. So
Yes.
I think this begs the question:
Mhm.
is this a 20-year remaster of the original, or a 10-year remaster of the 10-year remaster?
That is a great
Is this like
question.
remaster Inception or super remaster?
No, that I hadn't thought of that, but
I need to know.
could it be both? I don't know. I don't know. As long as they weighed the pros and cons, I think we're good.
That's right.
And
That's what matters the most.
right. But the one that came out most recently, the Retold, is got all the stuff on it, and it's got the Titans expansion and basically everything on it. Then just recently this month, the Arena of the Gods update just dropped. So if you're still in that awful contest, which is in the finals, then you can get a whole lot of TAD for not a whole lot of work. But oddly enough, the update had 105 gamer score. I thought that was a little odd that they went with that. I haven't seen that in a while where it's such an unusual number, but yeah, maybe it happens more often than I realize. But anyhow, as for the game itself, well, first of all, did you play any of these remasters or originals as they came out over the years?
I have not.
Okay.
I know nothing about this other than that it exists.
Oh,
Um, I assume it plays like Age of Empires. Am I
you're absolutely exactly
okay?
right. So, yep,
Okay.
it's just like that. For me, it was basically the same thing. It was a new experience for me. I didn't play it either during the 2003 or 2014 or anything, but I did over that course of time play the hell out of Age of Empires, and that's basically what this is Age of Empires with mythical units. In Age of Empires, it was more based in reality ish with historical characters, and the units were pretty much something that you would have encountered at that time period, with the exception of the monster truck, the Tominator.
Hey, the monster truck. Let's go.
Right. That was, of course, the best. And one, there was like a van too that you could get in or something. I think there was like a van that you could load up in, like a minivan.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think there's a monster truck. I know there's a monster truck, but I think there was a minivan too. So in that one, you had that. But in this one, you have deities, heroes, legends, and all kinds of mythical units. So instead of encountering a bunch of swordsmen, you would encounter like a group of minotaurs or something like that. So it's like all mythical creatures, and
But do the Minotaurs wield swords?
don't think they need to. I think they just charge you, kind of a
Oh,
thing.
all right. I was gonna say because then they would still be like a swordsman,
Right.
technically, right?
I mean, some of them I think might. I don't know. There was a whole lot of different units in it. I mean, there's a wide variety. So they tried to add in all these different units, and the game is really interesting in the sense that it has like a bunch of civilizations in it. It has things that I never really thought about, like the different gods of the different civilizations, like the Norse gods. I didn't really know anything about Norse
Yeah,
gods.
so
And
that's what I was gonna ask. With AoE, you have,
Mhm.
the Roman Empire, and
Right.
then, the Cherokee, and then the Japanese, like, so yeah, that's how I was gonna ask, is it split up like the Norse gods and the Greek gods and the Roman gods?
Well, you play as that civilization, and then you choose which one of the gods of that civilization you want to serve.
Oh, okay.
So if you play as the Greeks, you might choose Zeus. I forget the other ones, like Poseidon or whatever. I'm not sure Poseidon was a choice or not, but you have different ones that you can choose, and then based on that, it dictates what units are available to you. So you get special units based on each one of them that you choose. You
Okay.
maybe enjoy other units than others, and so you change it up, and then you choose like sub gods also. There's a whole lot of like gods in there. So if you're serving Zeus, like as you level up through the ages, you can pick like a different god to also worship, I think. I forget how they worded it, but you might also condone Apollo, and then that gets you like certain types of units. And then later on, you
Okay.
might, so there's different ones, different levels. Each god represents a level. So instead of like Age of Empires level 1, level 2, through 5, it's kind of the same system, but you choose a god to serve, and that dictates what units you get at that point. It works really similar with Age of Empires. And in fact, I saw that the Retold game, which is this one, Age of Mythologies Retold, it uses the same engine as, I think it was Age of Empires 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my least favorite one.
Yeah, so but it's still like basically the same. I mean, it's literally just almost down to cosmetics with with different units. I mean, it's
So it's like a palette swap, basically.
yeah, it's
Okay.
just a money grab even.
That they remastered twice. I guess they weighed
Right.
the pros and cons.
I did, and it came up aces for 'em, yeah. I did enjoy this game. It has a little bit of everything for a seasoned achievement hunter, in the sense that it has 50 achievements, and they come from different things that I'll get into here. But the bulk of them are like I viewed it as kind of like a puzzle where you set up a quick game, and then you kind of finagle the options to where you're basically got it set up just for a single achievement. Because in the quick mode, you can choose certain things and make it really unfair, and then you can just knock out an achievement, and then bam, done. So for example, there's an achievement called Herseer Your Honor, and that is for winning a match as the Norse without training infantry except Herseers. And Herseers, I actually had to look that up. I was like, I have no idea what a Herseer is. Do you know?
I sure don't.
I didn't either. It was basically it's like a Viking general dude, usually with swords, big swords. It's like a Viking general.
Axes?
Yeah.
Vikings need
It
axes.
is swords. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe that's why you get an achievement for it, because you don't even get to use an axe as a Viking. I mean, it's crazy. So if you were going for that achievement, you would start as the Norse. You'd choose that as your civilization, and then you'd pick Thor as your god, because that's the one that allows for to build that unit. And then you would choose unlimited resources, and then probably up the speed once you get more comfortable with it. And then it's the same process at this point. So the setup is, you choose the person, choose the god, and then the rest of it is what you would do for multiple achievements, which is set it to unlimited. And then once the game starts, build a bunch of houses so that you can have more units, and then level up until you are able to get to the unit that you need. And then basically build nothing but that unit, and then send your mob squad around the map and just demolish everyone, because they're trying to play the game right. And it's rinse and repeat. And I don't know what
How
it
dare
is.
they?
All right. There's just something so enjoyable about where you're just sending this huge mass group of units, and you're just destroying everyone's civilization, and you're just burning everything to the ground. And I don't know, I just found it really relaxing for some reason.
Scorched earth, so relaxing.
Yeah, it was it's just kind of,
Really winds me down after a rough day.
there's so many of these achievements like that. Like another one was called A New Bitten.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and so it's defeat 50 villagers with a new bites. And I thought that unit was way overpowered. You put a big old group of those together, and they like jump halfway across the map, it seemed. I mean, they have this huge jump attack from forever away from someone. And they just butcher everyone. But anyway, you got to defeat 50 villagers, which is not challenging. You just got to find 50 villagers and they'll just destroy everything else too. But yeah, that was, and then another one, this one was actually a little bit of annoying. It was Omnivore. And so that was for regenerating 5,000 HP using the Colossus Colossal Hunger ability. What that Colossus Colossal Hunger ability is if you get damaged as that unit, you basically go eat some trees. So you got to take some damage. So you just kind of get near somewhere, attack it, and then stop attacking it and just run around in a circle while they're damaging you. And then you got to click on each one individually and tell it to go eat a tree. It's very annoying.
That sounds tedious.
Still, it was kind of like, putting the puzzle together and you're like, okay, I got to set this up. And then the cool thing about it is that, like most real-time strategy games, is you can save it basically anywhere. If you're doing the Omnivore one, you could, run them around a circle where everyone gets injured and then just run off to the side, return home to where there's some trees, save your game, and then go eat a bunch of trees and then rinse and repeat. You could just
So the progress works across
yes.
loads and real nice. I like when games do that instead of
Yeah.
an in-game tracker.
Yeah, you can just keep doing it over and over. So it makes it easier to do different there's a couple that would be grindy otherwise, like defeat 100 AI opponents. You probably get that pretty natural, just destroying everyone. But hypothetically, you could get it to where you only have one unit to kill and then, save, then kill that one unit, you win, then reload, kill that one opponent, reload, and so you would get 100 wins if you just did it like that. Or destroying 2,000 buildings. So you just go destroy this one civilization, then just reload it and destroy it again. So it eliminates all the build-up time that you would normally put into it. So that it helps a lot. It's really manageable list, and it doesn't get tedious really because of all the cheats that you can use. That's another reason Chivo Hunters would like is because you can cheese it. And then also, it actually has built-in cheats. So nothing as cool as the Tominator. I was just going to tell you up front. Nothing as cool as that. I mean, that was the best. But there are ones that allow you to skip. So there is a campaign. I'm sorry, I should specify. So all these achievements that I was talking about, those are ones that you can get in just setting up a multiplayer game. It's just like you're just setting up a random game.
Skirmish achievements.
Yeah, there's probably about 30-ish of those. Well, I don't know. I didn't actually count them, but there's 50 total achievements in the game. I think there's probably like 20 of those where there's specific things, and there's probably about 10 cumulative stuff like destroy 2,000 buildings, beat 100 AI opponents, things like that. You'll eventually get them if you just do all the puzzle ones, as I explained, where you're setting up specific things. You'll get a lot of the cumulative ones just doing that. But there is a campaign on it, and the campaign is very doable because it has built-in cheats as well. You can skip a large part of it. This game probably would have worn thin on me had you not been able to do the skip in the campaign. The way it's set up is like you'll have a certain campaign where I think one of them has to do with like the Golden Fleece or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I forget exactly. I was skipping all the cutscenes, so it was kind of hard to piece it together at times.
Oh, I know you do that, but come on, man.
I know. That campaign would have like 32 levels in it. I think there's one that had 32 levels in it. I think that was the highest one. But there's a couple of achievements that are related to the campaigns. There's actually 11. There's 2 from the tutorial, which are nothing burgers, but there's 11 from the campaign where you actually got to try a little bit. There's one for usually beating the first stage, and then the couple of random ones in there, but most of them are for beating the first stage of it and then beating, or maybe it's the last stage. I forget. It's either first or the last. I know the last stage for sure on many of them. So it'll have it divided up into subsections. Like you're in Egypt, it'll be like defeat the Egypt portion of the blank campaign. So yeah, it would be the last one, because what you can do is as soon as you get to Egypt, there might be like 10 stages in Egypt. You can skip the first 9, and as long as you play the 10th one and don't use the cheat, then you get the achievement. So you only have to do one out of, like basically 10 levels to get the achievements.
So you missed the whole story, but you get the achievement pretty quickly.
Right. And you still get to kind of play the game and like show that you're competent in it, because you don't need the lesser stages. You just play the hardest stage of it. Theoretically, the last stage should be the hardest stage, right? But for the other ones, in case you can't find it anywhere else, which I'm sure that you can, but if you can't, the cheat is basically you open up the chat tab and you type in "thrill of victory," and I believe it has to be in all caps. So "thrill of victory," and you hit enter, and then it just says victory, and then you move on to the next stage. You just wait until you get to the whatever stage you need to beat to get the achievement, and then it works. And there was a little bit of a delay on it with the pop. I think you have to exit to the main menu a few times if it doesn't pop immediately. If it doesn't pop immediately, don't get concerned. You can always just exit back to the menu and just start backing up in the menus until it pops. I had to do that a couple times. It wasn't a big deal. But the other ones, the random ones will pop pretty much automatically, but the campaign ones were special for some reason. In case I need to sell you on the game more, I mean, it's on Game Pass, so there's really no reason. You only get access to the standard edition. So I wanted to bounce this off you and see what you think.
Okay.
It's a little weird. So it's on Game Pass. The one that's on Game Pass is Age of Mythologies Retold Standard Edition. Also, what exists is Age of Empires is basically Age of Empires. The Mythologies Retold Premium Edition. So you got the Standard Edition and the Premium Edition. For $30, you get the Standard Edition. That's the one that's in Game Pass for free. But you get 4 civilizations. You get the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Norse, and the Atlanteans. And each one has 3 main gods each. So you get basically 12 gods.
12 gods then.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the Premium Edition, you get the Greek, the Egyptians, the Norse, and the Atlanteans with 3 gods each. But you also get a 4th god for the Norse, and his name is, I don't know, Freyr. I'm not familiar with the Norse gods. Freyr? Yeah, it's F-R-E.
Freya is a female. That's Thor's mom.
This looked like a dude. I think it's Freyr.
Interesting.
Maybe it's the son. I don't know. So Freyr with an R.
Oh, okay. Not Freya then.
Yeah, Fur. I don't know. It looks like Brer with an F. It looks like Brer. Brer God is who you get. But it's $20 more. So you get 1 extra guy. So I have no idea why they just chose this dude. Like, why do you get 1 single god in 1 single civilization? Like, if you got 1 each, like, that would make more sense. But you only get like 1 god for 1 civilization. I just don't understand it. Why that? If they were wanting to try to sell this, they probably was a little short-sighted on that end. But you also get 2 other things. So you also get an encyclopedia of sorts for all the gods in the game, which is not very exhaustive. It's kind of cartoonish, but hey, it's something. So you get access to that if you want to learn more about it and don't have internet connection, I guess, for whatever reason. And then lastly, you get mythical battles, which right now, from all accounts on the internet, is that is 1 mission. So you get 1 mission, not 1 campaign, but 1 mission. Like 1. Remember how I said you have like 10 in each, 32 in 1 campaign. You get 1 mission. You get 1 of those, not 32 of those or anything like that. You get 1 mission. That's the mythical battles. So you get that. You get the crappy encyclopedia, and you get a 4th god called Freyr for $20 extra. I don't.
Well, I just pulled it up. You're right. I have no idea who Freyr is. Not Freya. But you also, for the $20, you get the season pass. Basically, there are 2 upcoming expansions that aren't out yet, so maybe that's why you don't see it on your list. But expansion 1 is the all new Chinese Pantheon expansion, and then expansion 2 is an unannounced Civilization all new Pantheon expansion.
Sounds like it's been announced. I like how they unannounced an unannounced thing that isn't announced, but
they're announcing that it's unannounced. Come on. It's like when now we make like movie trailers for the movie trailer that's coming out in a week.
Coming soon, something. Right. But yeah, there's 0 achievements related to it right now. I don't know why you would buy it right now unless you're just banking on those expansions being something you just can't miss or something. Because right now, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. But
I mean, Elroy, I think you often forget, my dear friend, that some people just really might like the game.
You're right.
And might want the new content regardless of achievements.
Maybe Freyr has a big following somewhere and it's like a thing. I don't know. I never heard of him, but whatever. Maybe like, it's like Superman or something in, I don't know, Sweden. Maybe
Viking Superman.
Ask Waka about it or something. That's basically it. It's just basically if you enjoyed Age of Empires, give this one a whirl. I mean, it's really enjoyable it plays just like it, obviously. So Age of Mythologies Retold. That's it. Yeah.
I don't think you know this. I'm a big AoE fan. I'm terrible at it, mind you. But I played the heck out of it. It was one of the only games I had on PC growing up. So I think I will check this out. I did not realize, I mean, the name should have been a giveaway. Let's be honest. I did not realize it was just an AoE clone. So you have for sure piqued my interest here.
Wow, look at us. We both picked games that were good for one
Of
another.
interest to each
Yeah,
other.
that's crazy. Who knew? How about some baby games? You got something good?
All right, yeah. Well, Mr. Koosh Moose
Oh,
tagged me in Discord the other day for a game called Beautiful Sakura Running Club. And I was like, what is this? And then I clicked on it, and it is a visual novel. It's $12 and a 2-minute 1,000 gamer score completion. And you can just straight up fast forward. It looks like there's no decisions, just fast forward the whole game.
oh, wow.
I'm mentioning it because the artwork, it is AI generated waifus. Like
What's a waifu?
a waifu is traditionally like an anime character that you would make your wife if she were real, and it's literally just how a Japanese person would say the word wife, waifu.
Oh,
So it's meant as like it's meant as a good thing.
that really sounds like you're making that up. Is this
No, I swear, waifu and husbando. Just with Japanese accents, they can't say wife and husband.
I'm just thinking if somebody had come to me and be like, "Hey man, you know how the Japanese say waifu?" And I'd be like, "Why?"
Well,
Because they can't say
they
wife.
have their own word for wife, whatever it is in Japanese, but when they try and say the English word wife,
Okay, I see.
it comes
Okay.
out waifu. So just the nerd community.
I've never heard of that in my life. That's really interesting. Okay.
So yeah, the nerd in the anime community is just it's a good thing. We're not making fun of their accents. We just embrace it, waifu. So it's just an anime character, a video game character that you would want to be with in real life.
Okay.
So it's
Fair
just
enough.
sort of become this ubiquitous term for just cute digital or virtual
Mm.
girl characters, right? So
Mhm.
this game, it's AI generated waifus. Like there's no hand drawn. Someone literally went in and said, Bing AI, make me a redheaded waifu in a bikini, and then that's it. They copy pasted that into their game. It looks so minimal effort. It's absurd that they have the audacity to charge $12 for this. And since
Uh,
there's no decisions to be
uh,
made in the plot for the visual novel, I assume they use the AI generate a story about this redhead in the bikini.
oh my
Like
gosh.
it looks comically low effort. But the reason I mention it is because this could be the dawn of waifu games on Xbox,
Oh boy.
of which there are not very many.
Oh, there's more than one.
I mean, there's a few, but there's
Oh, really? Okay.
not really, yeah. If you like the 360 visual novels, a lot of those are waifu games. I know you played those.
I have. I just didn't know what they
PlayStation and
were.
Steam and Switch, full of waifu games.
Huh.
Xbox, not so much.
Huh. Okay.
So maybe this is the start of a new trend.
Well, if nothing else, at least I learned a new word, I guess.
There
Wife.
you go,
Yeah.
waifu.
I learned today also what you call a quarterback in Spanish, El Paso. I don't know.
That was really bad.
One of my Hispanic students told me that joke. Okay, and then everyone joined in. The best one I heard. Okay, here you go. Joke time with Elroy. This one of my students like, "Hey, Mr. Kelly, yeah, what's up? Is scrambled eggs? Is that fried chicken?"
I like that one.
I did too. I was impressed. It was the most thoughtful thing that kid has ever said to me. I thought about it and I thought about it, and it makes you think.
It does kind of change your perspective there. I like that a lot.
He was really
Huh.
proud of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what you should try doing. Just since you mentioned your Hispanic students, try just incorporating just the word mucho just
Oh
into
yeah.
your regular vocabulary. Just try saying mucho because it means a lot to them.
Okay. Well, I got mucho games to talk about, including Taco Tom 2. Oh
How
yes.
relevant.
Yes, indeed. Taco Tom 2, I don't have a cool backstory like what you were talking about it, but this one is it's a slightly challenging baby game. It's a 2K gamer score, but it does take some skill. It has 400 TAD tied to it, and it's not all because of the title update. It's about half and half. But you're a taco, and I guess presumably your name is Tom.
Tom.
And yeah, maybe you're the second Tom in the family. I don't know, or maybe it's the second game in the series. But you're catching ingredients that is falling from the sky for some reason, trying to avoid obstacles. As you're doing that, you must get the ingredients caught in the correct order. I forget the exact order, but I think it's like meat, cheese, tomato, lettuce, or something like that. If you get it in the incorrect order, then your shell empties and you have to start over. So you get points for each repetition of the proper catchage, if you will. That's basically how you get points. And then you get to the end of the stage and then it advances. It sounds pretty simple enough, but I only mention it because it's one of those weird as hell titles. Like, this game is really unusual in the sense that you get to the cutscenes and you don't want to skip the cutscenes. I don't even think you can, but it's like using stock photos. Like, they went to royalty-free pictures, like, and they're showing these pictures in the background the whole time you're trying to catch ingredients. And it's just like a never-ending barrage of just stock photos. And then they use, like, when you get into cutscenes, it's all generic. Like, you're meeting up with your girlfriend, for example. That was the plot of one of them. And they show, like, a stock photo of somebody stretching in the park, a young lady or something.
It
And
sounds like it's about as low effort as the AI waifus.
that's what I was thinking of. And it's just, it's like utterly ridiculous. And you can kind of get an idea what kind of game it is if you just look at the achievement art on it, where all the achievements have what appears to be bizarre stock photo attached to them. It's kind of stuff like that. The whole game's just bizarre. You're just catching ingredients, and there's just a weird, it's almost like a PowerPoint slideshow playing in the background with stock photos in it. And
I see what you mean with the stock photos. Yeah,
yeah, it's just bizarre. Rather than draw all the new stuff, they just got every stock photo off the internet. They just type in whatever the topic is, and they get, okay, that works. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. I need to go back and finish it. It's one of those weird ones I found when I was doing that leapfrog where you had to score, achievement each, and I just forgot to go back to it. But I don't know if it's worth $6. If it ever goes on sale, you might check it out. I mean, $6 is not that much anyway. It's about the cost of a taco, so why not?
All right. So I have to ask, because you introduced this, you said well, actually, I forget what you said, but I know what I want to say. You said it's a somewhat challenging baby game or something like that with, 200 TAD. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of a baby game, right? I think a baby game should have like 50 or less TAD. So I propose right now in real time, and I'm going to look at your reaction, a toddler game.
I like it.
Because, like, it's not a baby. Like, a baby could do it and get you your 1,000 gamer score, right? You need a little more, skill or ability for 200 TAD, a toddler game, right?
Yeah. Well, 400. I mean, 200
That's
in
true.
the title update.
So we'll have to, like, crunch some numbers. Like, where does this divide happen? Where does baby game stop? And where does it grow into a toddler game, right?
I like that. Okay, I'm with you. So there you go. That's the toddler game talk. Apparently, Black Friday sales. They're out there. Is there any non-toddler games or toddler games or baby games on there that you're interested in getting?
Well, if that was not made clear, Elroy is referring to the Black Friday sale that just went live as of recording, and when you hear this, will be live for, I believe, 10 more days after that. I browsed through the list, and very fitting because I was just talking about waifu games, and I was like, "There's a couple more."
Mhm.
So, One-Chanbara Bikini Samurai Squad is exactly what it sounds like. You are waifus in bikinis, but you're also samurais, and you kill zombies or vampires, I think. I've had this on my "Yep, I wanna play that game" list forever, but the disc is like $50. It is on sale right now for the Black Friday sale for $3 digitally. Normally, it's also only $20. I did not know this game was available digitally, and I did not know it was backwards compatible. This is a super old,
Hmm.
360 title. This came out in 2009, so not a launch title, but, an older one, and I haven't played it, so I can't talk about it too terribly, but Bikini Samurai Squad, man. Bikini Samurai, you kill zombies for $3? Like, I am absolutely stoked to buy this and play this. Anything, catch your attention?
I think I own the game for the 360. I just haven't got it. I don't know. I just bought it once upon a time. It was really cheap, and just like, I'll get it.
Alright.
Why not?
Oh, you have it on disc?
I think so. The 360
Yeah,
one. I think I have that.
nice.
I'm
That's
pretty
a
sure I do.
50, $60 disc there.
Really?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I haven't played it, 'cause it's just like Deadpool. It's just too pricey to sort of be worth it, but for $3, I'm on it.
Okay. I'll check it out. I think I have it, but I don't know. For me, I was looking at D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die. Blah blah blah. And so that used to be a Game Pass game, and I did about half of it. And then lo and behold, it basically went out of Game Pass. I just kind of just didn't. I didn't realize it at the time that it was about to leave, and so I went through a phase before they kind of cracked down on it of buying games over in Argentina. Can't do that as much
The
anymore.
vacation home was stolen from you.
Just had to sell it, for whatever reason, and I don't know. I just never got back around to owning this game, and it's just been sitting there. It looks like my last achievement that I unlocked in it was in 2019, so it's been 5 years. And I was intrigued by the game. It wasn't a bad game or anything. It was kind of funny at parts. I think I talked about this game at one point on a really early version of the podcast. I don't know which level it was, but KT Echo could probably tell you. And I just forgot about it, to be honest, until I saw it on sale on that list. And so it's on sale for a very significant discount. So I'm definitely going to get this one and maybe eventually finish it. It's pretty exciting for me.
Very nice. I own that. That was one of the first games with gold for Xbox One back in like 2014 or 15. So I own that digitally. I haven't played it. All right.
Kush saw one on there. He wanted to shout out Marvel's Midnight Suns Enhanced Edition. It's deep discount, down $11. Yeah, it's normally 70. I don't know what they're selling it for 70 for, but
I think it's probably the game and all the DLC would be my guess.
paying that superhero royalty fee or something. I don't know. I assume Marvel, but I don't know anything about it. Is that a superhero? Midnight Suns? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
The Midnight Suns, see, I don't know. No, I think, but I'm not 100%. It's one of the teams. You have the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Young Avengers. I think you have the Midnight Suns are a team up there. The Inhumans. I think it's another one of those.
Okay, you know my ass. Who's on this team?
That I don't know.
Rubber Man and Fire Dude, and I don't know what. I just kind of describe them. I don't know any of their names, but
Well, that's the Fantastic Four that you just named two of. Well, one more sale recommendation comes not from me, surprisingly, but our Big L. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is on sale. The bundle with all six is normally 75. It's 25% off for 56, which is actually honestly it's a good deal. You're getting all 6 games, 6,000 gamer score, $56. Or if you want to buy them individually, you can do that as well. 1 and 2 are $9, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 are $13.50 each.
oh my gosh, dude, I think I might have to go. I mean, I want to make sure I get this before the sale goes down. I mean, I gotta get those Final Fantasies. I mean, it just means a lot to me. It's funny though. It's like all this Final Fantasy stuff all of a sudden. But yeah, I saw those were on sale. It was like 3 different versions of it. I don't even know. There was like the gold version and some other version, and
That's something else. Pixel Remaster just has
oh
the 6 games or the bundle with the 6. There's no versions or editions or anything like that.
I just don't know anything about Final Fantasy, I think. I need to go back and re-listen to the podcast. So, what's this Xbox handheld? Is that a thing now? Is Xbox handheld?
I guess I don't think we know much about it. I don't know a lot because I don't think there's a lot to know.
Mhm.
But I guess they confirmed they are working on an Xbox handheld. It's a couple years out. We don't know if it's going to be dedicated, games like PSP or Vita had its own games on that, or if it'll be more like a Steam Deck where you can install stuff and play on the go. Could even just be like what do they call it? The PlayStation Portal, where it just is a handheld device to stream your games.
Oh,
So we don't know a whole lot about it other than they confirmed we're working on it.
man.
So we will hear more about that in the future.
They announced that it's unannounced.
Then now exactly. They made the trailer for the upcoming trailer, so
I don't know what it
yeah.
is, but I want one. That's all I know. That's pretty cool. In milestone news, I got a milestone for you. It is that the GTAS finals are here, and I am nowhere
geez.
near it. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Unky he was my teammate this year, the one that wasn't awful, and he basically made the finals. So props to him. I wish he and I could have, work something out with where we could have got our team in there, maybe got Ben on board, Ben L72. But anyway, the props to him for making the finals. That's what he cares about. He has a streak of making the finals for, I forget how many straight years, but he always makes the finals. That's his thing. And then he doesn't try in the finals, and just yeah.
That is super impressive in its own right, though.
It is. It's really neat. So props to him on making the finals.
All right. Well, I have a milestone that we'll all want to celebrate. On November 10th, 2020, Xbox Series X and Series S were released globally on that day. Actually, there's no staggered release date. So happy 4th birthday, Xbox Series X and S. So timeline kind of makes you think, right? So the original Xbox came out in 2000, 2001, I forget. And then 360 came out in 2005. Like, that was quick. That was weird. But then we had 8 years from 360 in 2005 to Xbox One in 2013, and then 7 years from 2013 to the Series X in 2020. So seems like 7, 8 years is about the typical lifespan. If you go further back in history, that tracks decently.
Right.
So if the Series X and S just turned 4, are we halfway to the next box and PS6? We very well could be.
Wow. I mean, all I can think about is you said that the Xbox 360 came out in 2005. Is that right?
2005, yep.
So it sounds like, according to AI Being, we're due for a 360 remaster next year. We just need to have the whole console come out
Man, you got
remastered.
me with that one.
So there you go. Yeah, but they have to weigh the pros and cons first, though. Definitely.
They better weigh the pros and cons.
Oh, man. Well, I enjoyed it, man, as always. So we appreciate all our wonderful listeners, and thanks for all the feedback this week. Class is dismissed.
But it can't be dismissed until we weigh the top 3 pros and cons of an Xbox 360 remaster. Number 3, Red Ring of Death. Number 2, Chat Pad. And number 1, exclusive games.
That Red Ring of Death would be in high def because it's remastered. I mean, think of the graphics on that. But in honor of level 324, I wanted to bring you the top 3 things that are awesome that end in the number 4. 2x4s, trucks that are 4x4, and Nintendo 64.
Excellent list, as always, my friend.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.
See ya.